Hello, I'm Kelly, the Regional Director with Keeper Sotheby's International, and I'm here today with Serene, and welcome to the Ones to Know. Hi, Serene.
Hello.
Hey,
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad that you're on.
Excited.
So,
Go.
Serene, obviously, we met when I first started. I was so excited to meet you because you have gorgeous hair and you're from sort of the Pacific
Yeah.
Northwest, but way north.
Yes,
And I
that's
just
true.
thought, oh my gosh, this is my office sister. So, thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some real estate. We'll start there. When did you start your career? Fill us in.
I started in 2018. That's when I got my license, and I was very, very briefly at another brokerage, but about 2 months in, came to Sotheby's, and I've been here
Thank
ever since.
Okay, then we
So,
won't count those first 2 months.
when I was a rookie agent, I was so incredibly honored. I felt like I'd been drafted to the Yankees. In my mind, I came here from New York City, and so to me, it's just like being able to hang my license and learn from the best and play with the best. To me, it's always meant so much to be at this brokerage, and I've
Oh,
always felt, like what it means to be here.
yes, I love that. Well, we're so glad to have you.
Yeah, and I always wear a Yankees hat. That's the truth. So I was like, I need a Sotheby's hat. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have one?
I do,
I
but
can
it's
make
like
that
one of those
happen.
boater hats, and so it's not quite my vibe. I need like the Sotheby's version of the Yankees hat, and then I would wear it all over the world.
Okay, we'll work on that.
Christmas?
Yes,
Okay, love it.
it's on video, so we will get this done. Promised.
Documented. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so you've obviously worked with a lot of clients.
Yes.
What is your favorite part of our business?
I was recently at a housewarming for a couple that purchased a home and then they got engaged. So not necessarily the exact typical order, but being at their housewarming, it's such a reminder that this is a life story.
Yeah.
It's not just being in sales or selling a home.
So
It's really being able to see them in their home with their amazing golden retriever and just like lighting up a property and being so happy and living their lives.
yes.
That is the moment I wait for,
Yeah.
is like to see my clients happily in their home, which is a place of safety and rest and fun and all those other things. So
That
it's like
is
that's really the minute I wait for. There's another thing I always say to my buyers, you will know it when you see it.
Mm.
And I get to know it when I see it on their faces.
Yeah.
And so that's always a really special moment. And I wait for that moment. Sometimes it takes 5 properties. Sometimes I think my record was 53
Oh
properties
my
I've shown a buyer.
gosh.
But ultimately, when we did find the property, every time we find the right property, a buyer lights up in a way
Yeah.
that I just don't see when it's not their property.
And
So
they
that's,
appreciate that
yeah,
you're, like, patient with them and let them go through that process, right? Because they're already stressed. They're wondering, "If I buy this one, is there
yeah,
gonna be the perfect one around the corner?" So, when they have a patient agent like that will be willing to take your time, look at everything, make
yeah.
sure it lights you up, it checks all of your
Yeah.
boxes, like, that's a huge blessing.
There's the intersection of a home actually absolutely has to meet somebody's criteria.
Mhm.
And that to me is always first and foremost. But then it has to also light them up and they resonate with it. Because
Yeah.
just because a home checks all your boxes doesn't actually mean you like it or feel anything with
Yeah.
it. And that's where energy comes into play.
Mhm.
And that's such a fun thing. And patience is key.
It
Like
is.
that is one of the cornerstones of just how I operate is, it's the journey will take however long it takes.
Yeah.
And, I really believe in, you know, what's meant to be will be. And I see that play out every time.
Yeah, it's true. So you work with a lot of buyers and sellers too.
Yes.
But I always think buyers just you can make a bit more of a personal connection because you're in each of the homes talking about how they will live in it. They're excited, they're nervous,
Yeah.
it's just a very different thing than working with sellers. But tell us about, working with sellers. What's that like?
So I love working with sellers. I love working with buyers. They're both, kind of using left and right side of the brain to me. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing is they have a goal for what their home life is. And a seller might be moving on to their next chapter. So you get to be a part of, what is typically the biggest financial transaction of their lives.
Mhm.
So, and that's taken very seriously. One, I would say the hallmark of me being a seller's agent is I have an intense, very meticulous make ready process.
Oh, really?
Yes. So to me, you have your first impression and it matters really so much in a market like today's.
For sure.
And so a house to me needs to look as perfect as it can possibly look when you're shooting it.
You were
And
speaking
like
my
I
language.
will go in with a paintbrush, a Q-tip, a leaf blower, a power washer,
Good too.
like whatever is needed to get this house looking beautiful. Never spending money needlessly, but
Mm,
also making the correct investments to present a property at its best.
for sure. And do you feel like sellers are pretty, like, open and receptive to that? Do you bring a
Most are.
stager in to, like, kind of help you with that process?
When people are living there, they're less likely to do a stager. I recently just launched a listing actually yesterday, and
Woo.
they moved out, and we did a little bit of virtual staging in the photos.
Oh, okay.
And so I felt like that was a really good compromise, with budget in mind of showcasing a property with some options, so a prospective buyer can see it, how the space flows, but also not necessarily spending the money of staging.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and yeah.
Okay, I
Sorry.
like that. But I have a question.
Okay, love it.
Because virtual
Yeah.
staging looks so amazing. And of course, a part
Yeah.
of what we do is we market the property. We want the buyers to come and check it out. So when they do that, then they walk in and it doesn't look like what
Yeah.
they saw online. So do you feel like that's a letdown? Are they just referring back to the pictures on how they can make it work?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Well, I actually put virtually staged on the photos that
Okay.
are
So they
virtually staged. So, because transparency is everything in real estate, you really want to set the expectation. And the other thing that I do in my listing photos is I actually put the blank photo of the same space after the virtually staged
Oh,
photo.
that's really
So that way they can really see it.
yeah.
This is an imagining of the space.
Mhm.
And so there are no surprises. You hate to have a buyer let down when they walk into a space.
Yeah, we want the
Definitely not
opposite.
trying to create that. But I think also it's really helpful for them to be able to visualize, hence the virtual staging.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do the make ready, and then what is
Yes.
what type of marketing? What makes you unique?
Yeah. Well, I think marketing is on all different fronts. It's the connections you have with other agents in town that have buyers working in the area
Yeah.
or, buyers looking in the area. It's email marketing, it's social media marketing. It's really across a really broad spectrum of how you get the word out about a property.
Yeah.
And so I really try to check, each one of those steps.
You do such a good job with that.
Thank you.
Yes. Which part is your favorite about
Well,
marketing?
I'm really learning about social media.
Yeah.
I was really quiet
Yeah.
for the most part of my career up until
But
now.
you
And
did a lot of posting, but you just didn't get in front of the camera, and you're
e-
so beautiful, and I'm so glad you're
exactly.
doing it now.
Well, it takes, I think, a lot of courage to put yourself on camera.
For sure.
And I absolutely love real estate. To me, real estate is the easy part now, the deal, working with clients. That is my comfort zone. So my next big step has been to really, learn to enjoy social media. And I do think it's the most amazing tool because it is introducing a really
Yeah.
broad audience to your listings, to, your marketing, whatever you're working on. So I'm really starting to like it. At first, I was, definitely very intimidated by it.
I'm so glad you
Yeah.
forged through because you're so good at it.
Oh,
It started with you, like, just opening the door, and you're like, "Come in." Then it turned
that's
into
all I
like,
had. The first video was all I had. Let's explore. Whatever I
everybody
said, I was
started
like,
there.
oh, yeah. And now I'm like actually talking and walking on camera, and it's
So
I'm
good.
I'm doing it all now.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you listed that new one yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was eco.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So my new listing is in Whisper Valley, which, not a lot of people know about. It's about 20 minutes east of Austin, 8 minutes from the Tesla factory,
Okay.
12 minutes to the airport. So pretty amazing location.
For sure.
And also 20 minutes to the Domain. So it's equidistant from downtown and kind of, where the things are happening up north. And what's amazing about this community is there's $1 billion of infrastructure that
Wow.
went into creating a geothermal system in this community
Oh
for
my god.
heating and cooling.
What?
Every single
Was it
house.
off of, like, the new
Yeah,
183?
it's
Okay.
130, the 130 toll road. And so
Oh.
every single home in the community links up with this geothermal. And I'm not kidding when I say this, it is wildly lower utility costs
Wow.
than your average house of the same size.
Impressive.
There's really beautiful new construction, nice backyards, and the amenities are incredible. So I'm really proud to shine a spotlight on this community. I've actually worked with a lot of buyers who ended up buying there because it was just a tremendous value, but also something they were really proud to be a part of.
Mhm.
And
And it
sti
is a great location
It
because,
really is.
the
Yeah.
airport, like, I love Georgetown and so many
Yeah.
of those great little,
Yeah.
communities north, but it's just a real hefty drive if you
Yeah.
have to go to the airport often. So I do think that that is a bit
Because
under.
we're always running late, Kelly.
Yeah.
Do you guys in Sotheby?
Yeah.
It's true. I have a lead foot, but especially when I'm racing to the airport, we call it the Aandahl dash.
Ooh.
So it's like that last hour when you're literally trying to get out the door
Yes.
to go on a trip. It's intense. I do feel
So
like
you drive and you don't Uber
I
because you live Central Austin,
I
so
know.
I'm surprised.
I know. I usually am driven by either a family member or someone.
Okay.
For whatever
But
reason.
you're late, but they're driving and we're
Correct.
going fast.
Okay, yes. Oh no. This is now on record.
Yes, all that's true. But when she's with buyers,
Yeah,
it's easy driving.
yeah.
Okay.
I when I'm with buyers, I always say I drive like a soccer mom.
Do you put buyers in the car?
Yes.
What?
I love
I
having
agree.
buyers in the car. I really do. It's our time to bond. It's our time to discuss neighborhoods as we're going through.
Yeah.
I've worked in almost every neighborhood in Austin.
Mhm.
That has been my background and my experience as a realtor. And so I really know a lot. I know where the best restaurant is. I know where the schools are. I know where the grocery stores are. I know how far we are away from things.
And you can't mention those little tidbits when they're in the
Yeah.
car and behind you.
Sometimes when people are driving behind me, I literally keep them on the phone and I tour guide them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's
They have
just
kiddos or
if
something
they have
that
kiddos, exactly, and we aren't able to be in the same car. And I've worked with so many people who have or are relocating to Austin.
Mhm.
And so touring neighborhoods really is not necessarily just about touring a home. It's really about touring a neighborhood.
Yeah.
And that's why being in the car is essential. I have a little fridge in my car.
Do?
I literally do, and I put still and sparkling water
Ah,
in there, and so because I really want it to be a relaxing experience, so there's always snacks. I have water in the car because it's just I think real estate can be stressful.
yeah.
It can induce a little bit of anxiety because it's about the unknown, and this is something so essential to, like, the human existence. Shelter. Where are we gonna live? Where are we gonna, keep our family safe? So anything I can do to make it more relaxed, more fun, more comfortable, that's always a focus for me too.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, it's the opposite though
Ok.
of what my real estate coach told me for
Oh,
years. So I think it's
no
interesting.
sparkling water, just
I'm
still?
like, my car is so important
Oh,
because it's my second office and people get in the car with me. She's
yeah.
like, no, you do
Really?
not want to make it comfortable because otherwise they want to keep hanging out with you. And I'm like, yes, but it has to be an enjoyable experience. We don't want like a dirty car and like, do you want to go look at this house with me? And they're like, no.
It's not every time. I think those big first venturing outs that I tend to do with fires when we're casting a wider net,
For
that's
sure.
usually when we end up,
And you're doing the
missing
neighborhood
cars. You're
drives, and
doing
you're
the
talking
neighborhood
about,
drives.
this is that house that I've
Exactly.
seen, and I sold this, and here's the best
Exactly.
schools, and yeah, gives them the lay of the
That's
land.
so interesting they told you that. I'm always
I
like, "Get in
know.
the car." I call it the agent
So just
mobile.
reel
I'll
back
go
the snacks a
yeah.
little. Just make sure you're doing like kinda, a few beef
Yeah,
jerky
they're
sticks.
all gluten-free or it's beef jerky. Those are your only options in my car is, like, pistachios and beef jerky. Like, that's what I run on.
Okay, so I know this
Yeah.
about you,
Okay.
but our guests do not. So tell us about your, your tidbits to eating, and I love it. How much protein you eat, what you do in the morning. Let's get into some of that fun stuff.
Every morning starts the same way is my puppy Arthur gets up on the bed and we snuggle and just kind of set our intentions for the day. And usually
How cute is that?
I'm like, please don't be too obstinate on the walk today and like injure your shoulder because that literally happened 2 weeks ago. I really like a calm morning. I typically do some reading. I like to just have coffee. I'll have a breakfast of steak and eggs, usually around
She's not
9:30 after walking Arthur.
she's so tiny,
I do,
and
I crush
the
protein.
amount of food that she eats when she's like, "Kelly, let's get lunch." I'm like, "Yes, I'm having a salad." And she's like, "I'll have a steak and bring on the all the protein you have
Yeah.
back there."
I love carbs. I love processed food. I had, like, a custard at Sandy's on Barton Springs Road, like, a week ago. It was fabulous. All those things
A
are
week
so
ago.
I had ice cream
All
last
those
night.
things
Things are so delicious. I just find that my when I feel like I'm eating the correct fuel for my body and my
yeah,
brain works better. And I think
so true.
one of the things about being a realtor is we multitask. That I would say is the other foundation of, what I focus on is to effectively multitask in a way where it doesn't feel like I'm dropping any balls.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I need to feed my brain.
And so do you take time to actually eat? You're not, like, eating in the car. You're, like, doing your breakfast
I eat
while
in
you're
the car
eating.
all the time.
Okay.
No, the breakfast ritual is probably, the most sacred time because I do sit down, and if I am eating steak in the morning, the dog always gets some too. That's his ritual.
Okay.
So, yeah,
So he's happy.
he's happy.
But we have missed one of the best benefits that you told me
Oh,
about your mornings. So what do you do before? It's
okay.
green.
It's green.
I bought a
Uh,
$500 machine because
because
you're like, "Kelly,
yes.
get it together. Get it together. You
I
need celery
have
in
been
your life."
known to juice a celery stalk or two. That is 100% true. I used to drive my roommates in New York City crazy because I would be like with the juicer putting in the stocks at like 8 a.m. and they'd be like, "What's that noise?" I was like, "It's
You're
fine.
like, "Shh, it's fine."
It's called a masticating juicer because it
It's
grinds.
so
It
good.
doesn't, and you don't want to expose it to electricity. So there's a very specific reason I recommended that juicer to you.
It is
Yeah,
so good. I
it's
really do like it.
yeah,
I didn't even know that
yeah,
I should be worried about it being plugged into the power and all of that. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't know. Serene says that this is a good one. We're going with it.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in celery juice. I think another thing is, we're all out about in the world, and to me, health, home, faith, these are the cornerstones of my life. And so
Mhm.
just really trying to take care of myself so I can again navigate, be of service, the stress and just
Yeah.
the environment that we're all trying to thrive in.
It helped my tummy so much, so I appreciated that.
Yay.
Yeah, because I was like, "Oh, I hate celery," and
Yeah.
you're like, "Just give
You
it a
kind of
try."
it's like so
It
cooling.
is, it's
Yeah.
shocking because you think it would be, like, kind of gaggy first thing in the morning, like, I
It
love
feels really good.
coffee, and I really want, like, a scone,
Oh,
and I was like, "You're
yeah.
killing me here that I have to have green juice, and not green, it can't be mixed with anything else, just celery," but it is
Just
so
celery.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of fun tidbits like
I
that.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go to the farmer's market every
You
Saturday
do?
now. I do.
Every Saturday? Which one?
Barton Creek Farmers Market.
Okay.
I'm the most enormous fan, and I this year it was actually my goal to get way better remembering people's names. And so when I started going to the farmers market every weekend, I started writing down the names of the folks that I was buying from,
Yeah.
and now I know everybody's name.
All the
I'm
vendors?
all the vendors' names.
Oh
I'm like,
gosh.
I have like a big text thread going with my favorite rancher. We're like trading information about like best quality food, and I'm requesting that he make sauerkraut next week because I'm craving it and he's gonna do it right now.
Really?
He's fermenting lemons right now, but I was like, Henry, how about some sauerkraut?
Yeah,
So I think again, real estate is about relationships.
it is.
Life is about relationships. And that relationship has brought me so much joy because I feel like I'm voting with my dollars. I'm, giving business to, um, farming practices that I genuinely believe in. And I
Yeah.
feel like they're really healthy for my body. So I'm
Yeah,
like, please come over. I'll cook for you.
I love this.
Yeah.
Are there vegetables at the farmer's
There's
market?
tons.
Are you sure?
They're
The
always
one I
it
must have gone to the
yeah,
wrong one.
it's always based on the season, and
Okay, that's fair.
you do have to go early, but right now we've had, like, a ton of tomatoes. I, like, way overbought on yellow onions, and I've been eating them all week, and I'm
Okay.
like, feel like I'm about to, like, sprout a stalk. But yeah, eating seasonally is also, really good for us. It's what we've
It
done for
is.
thousands of years,
Yes,
so
it's
I
so
like it.
important.
Yeah.
I love
I
it.
bought a wagon and everything.
I
How's it
don't know
you?
which one I went to, but I feel like everything was prepared foods and then a ton of meat, of course.
Yeah.
But I was really hoping for fresh veggies because Pacific Northwest,
There's
that's
a
like it's all
ton.
green. Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
where's the lettuces and the
Kelly,
sprouts?
just
Okay,
come
I'm
with
coming.
me. I'll show you the ropes, and
Okay,
everybody's welcome. If you want me to show you the ropes, I'll share my wagon with you.
I love it. What is your favorite recipe to cook?
It's steak. Good old filet mignon, that's my absolute favorite.
And how do you
Um,
prepare it?
I put it in the oven, with, like, a mustard glaze, and it gets cooked to temperature, and we have the probes that we put in,
Yeah.
and then, and it's covered in just mustard, that's it, salt and pepper. It's,
Okay.
like, really
Yum.
basic but yummy, and then it comes out, and we do the sear after.
Oh,
So it still gets this really beautiful crust on it, but it always ensures that the meat is your preferred temperature, and, I know my temperature, like,
yeah.
literally down to the degree. I like a 126
Do
out
you
of
order that when you go to the steakhouse?
I have not done that yet.
Because I've
I've
heard
been
that that's how
the
you should technically order
the
it.
only steakhouse I go to is Wolfgang's in New York. It's
Okay.
my absolute favorite in the world. I always go there
Really?
before Easter Vigil. It's like one of my most favorite traditions. And honestly, whenever I'm in New York, I'll go to Wolfgang's
Yeah.
and I
Mhm.
order medium rare plus there. So
Okay.
I'll ask them
You're gonna
next time.
throw out a number and you're like, I
Yeah.
know my number.
I know my number, my steak number. Okay, but it's not just steak. There's an incredible purveyor of mushrooms at the farmer's market.
Ooh.
And so every week I have started buying a different type of mushroom and they are just so good drenched in butter.
Oh my gosh, I'm down for the mushrooms for
Oh
sure.
my God, they're incredible. And then usually, a nice green.
Yeah.
So just like very basic, not too stressful to create.
Yeah.
Um, I eat
Whole
steak,
food.
but pasta has my heart. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to just set the record straight. I eat a
Just
lot
to be
of
sure
steak.
you are
I
actually
I
living.
genuinely love pasta so much. Yeah.
Okay. Good. And so what are your goals for the rest of the year?
I have a lot of goals. I recently hired an assistant.
Yay!
Yes, and I'm implementing a brand new operations platform.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that. And the whole goal, I'm calling her my operations coordinator.
Love it.
And her name's Reggie. I'm really excited about her. Basically, it's just to provide better service to my clients, more comprehensive, more communication, more resources at their disposal throughout their entire process, whether they're sellers or buyers. And so really that's been my big project for the summer. And I'm also very blessed to be very busy. I'm working with multiple clients right now, including buyers. And so I'm showing, a few days a week, and
Nice.
we're in hot pursuit in multiple price points. And
Okay.
the deals that I have closed so far this year have gone beautifully, and there's been a nice robust amount of negotiation, and they've been smooth. And
Good.
so I'm always just trying to hone my craft and customize what I offer to clients even more, because each
Yeah.
person, what they need is different.
So true.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited about
Oh, and
this.
social media is my big thing this year.
Yes.
I'm
You're gonna keep
trying to get over my stage fright, because it's just real.
yeah.
For me, it's really real. I have to like work up the courage to go on camera, but it's definitely, I feel like people have been so kind. My friends are being supportive, my colleagues. And so that
What it
encouragement,
takes.
yeah,
Yes,
that
it does.
encouragement really means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
So follow Serene on all socials.
Yeah. You'll get to see Arthur.
Yes, Arthur's so cute. Well, thank you for being here with me today,
You're so
and I look forward to seeing what the rest of the year brings.
Thank you,
Oh,
Kelly. She's the best.